Hello everyone, it's Lydia and I'm super excited to announce that I'm hosting my first ever swap over at MyScrapRoom.ning. That site is maintained by Gina. She's Scrapanology here on YouTube. Hi Gina, thank you so much for inviting me to host a swap over at MSR. Ladies, I have a couple of spots open, so head on over and sign up. You have an entire month, over a month, to create your project and get it over to your swap partner. So hopefully my spots will be filled today. I still have a couple of more spots left open. Once all the spots are filled, I will partner everyone up and then you guys can contact each other and maybe discuss favorite color. So the swap is to alter a Matchbox, a large one. You can find these at Walmart if you want to. You can make your own if you want. There's tutorials on YouTube, but I think it's easier to just go pick up a Matchbox that you can alter, and I'll show you an example in a minute. I think that's about it. Okay, so I used Graphic 45, The Secret Garden, which is super gorgeous. And here's my Matchbox. So I painted it and papered it. The requirements for your Matchbox is to add an image, use some flowers, lace, or trim. So here I papered it, I added my image, I added this pretty little wooden fence, I gessoed it and added some of this pretty ribbon here with leaves. I added a cluster of flowers, I used a lot of lavenders, my favorite color. And then on top here I just have some leaves from using the Martha Stewart punch. I have a crochet flower and a sweet little vintage button. And there's my lace, and I used some flat back pearls. Your box has to have a drawer pull. You can use buttons. Here I used a Recollections little button with the crochet on it. I love those. And then your box also has to have feet, so get creative on your feet. I've used dominoes before. You can use buttons. Here I use these pretty little stones that I received in a rack. And then inside your mini, you're to create a inside your drawer, you're to create a 5-page mini, and that includes fronts and back. So make sure you measure, ladies. Here I covered my drawer. Make sure you measure it so that your mini fits inside the drawer. I'll give you the measurements on mine. I did bind it with, might bind it all a quarter, I think these are a 1/4-inch rings. But you can bind it however you wish. You can use ribbons, eyelets, whatever you want. This one measures, let's see, 4 by 2 and 2 1/4. And then on the cover of your mini album, you're to add an image, some flowers, and some lace. And then you can decorate the inside, embellish the inside as you wish. Don't over embellish it because you want to make sure your mini fits inside the drawer. So here I just used some purple seam binding up there. Here's my image. I used some crochet lace, a flower, and some leaves that I punched out. This is a little Prima Woodsy and a flatback pearl and another purple flower. And on this page, very simple, I just added some trim and another Woodsy. Here I have a little rosette and some bling. Here's a cute piece from the collection, and it's a perfect journaling spot. I love that image. And on this side, I have some purple crochet trim, another little crochet flower, and I added a little piece from the collection. On this one is a pocket page. I have some lace here to form the pocket, and another little piece from the collection that can be used to journal. I have a little Julie the Paper Bag Lady trim and some flowers. On this one I have this pretty applique piece, and I tore some paper to create the mat. On this one I have a pretty flower. I think that's petaloo. Isn't that pretty? I have not the best lighting in here today, and then I added some trim right on the edge. Isn't that beautiful? And what else? On this one, again, I did a mat. Some Julie the Paper Bag Lady, some pretty fibers, and another flower. And then the back of my mini, I just added this piece from the collection that says The Secret Garden, and then I added my information. And that fits nicely into my drawer. Head on over, ladies, to MyScrapRoom.ning and sign up. Thank you to all the ladies who have already Signs up, super exciting, easy project. You have over a month to create it and get it to your swap partner. Head on over for all the details and information. And thank you so much, Gina, for inviting me to host a swap over at MSR. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a fabulous day. Bye.